let's create our ebook. We're going to use ChatGPT and Canva to create this ebook. And honestly, you guys, you can do this so quickly, quick and easy, okay? So let's go. So I have ChatGPT open. You need to get ChatGPT if you don't have it already. You can get the free or the paid version. It's completely up to you which one you want to get. And inside of ChatGPT, you are going to write what's known as a prompt, which is basically just telling ChatGPT what you want it to do. So for today, we want ChatGPT to write our ebook for us, okay? Now, a couple of things. While ChatGPT is going to write it for us, we are the creators, so we are going to make sure we edit it and we make sure that we have the final say on how the words are inside of the ebook. We don't want to just copy and paste completely, all right? But ChatGPT is going to really help us to be able to, get from start to finish in like lightning speed. I wish this existed when I first started selling ebooks in 2018. I had to write everything myself, and it took me months, you guys, months just to write a 20-page ebook. So anyway, get into it. So for today's video, I'm going to come up with an ebook from scratch for you guys in this video. All right, so let's see. We're gonna do an ebook about self-care, self-love, and leveling up. I pretty much wrote everything I want ChatGPT to do. So I told it that I wanted to come up with the title, also the description and the chapters, table of contents, and I told it the tone. Okay, the tone that we wanted to be written in. That way it's going to come out exactly like what I want it to sound like. So we hit enter, and now it's going to generate this super long thing with everything that I asked it for. So this part, what you want to make sure you do is as soon as it responds to you, you want to read it and make sure it's good to go. And then you want to start using this for your ebook. You don't want to just copy and paste and then later be like, oh my gosh, it's not written how I want, So how I like to do it is I also use Google Docs whenever I create my ebooks, and then I use Canva after I finish editing everything. So on ChatGPT, when you scroll to the bottom, there is this little symbol that is for the copy. Okay, that's how you press copy and then paste it to wherever you want it. So we're going to actually open up our Gmail or our Google. If you have a Gmail account where you get emails, or if you use Google, that's how you could create a Google Doc. You could also use the Note app on iPhone or iPad or MacBook. You could also use Microsoft Word to do this step too. I recommend doing this first before you just copy and paste into Canva, okay? That way we're not plagiarizing and it's exactly how we want it to sound. Okay, so in Google, we go here to Google Doc. We open up a new Google Doc, and like I told you before, when you go to chat, that little symbol copies it, and then you just paste it right here. And then I usually remove the end part because we don't need that at the end or the beginning. And now we have our ebook already fleshed out. So we got our title, we got our description, we got our chapters. I like to do this so that way later on when I do marketing and I'm coming up with content, I always have something to look back on to remind me of what my product is about. Because if we don't have this, we don't want to be just trying to market, right? We want to have a clear idea of our ebook, okay? Now, also, if there's anything here that you don't like, if you want to change the wording, this is where you would do it right here on your Google Doc. So let's say if you didn't want it to be called Spoil Her, if you want it to be called In My Soft Life Era instead, you can do something like that, or something, you can just change up the title so that everything is written how you want. Now, let's go back to chat and actually write this ebook. Okay, so let's tell chat, okay, now let's write out the ebook chapter 1 first. Okay, so I like to break it up by chapters because I don't want it to just spit out an ebook and then it's too short. I want it to really get into each chapter. So I break it up by chapter, and chat already knows the chapter because remember, it created the chapters for you. So now, boom, chapter 1. Ooh, this looks good. This looks so good. To be very honest with you, the way that it writes is going to be based off of what you tell it. So because I kind of gave it an idea, and because I do use ChatGPT often, it has an idea of what I want it to sound like. So the key here is when you're in this step, make sure you keep editing it to sound exactly how you want it. If you don't like it, say, I don't like this. Okay, so look, I literally can say that. Look, I don't like this. Revise. And then what will chat do? It will go in, rewrite it for you if you just didn't like the tone. Okay, so we're back in our Google Doc, and we are now going to start pasting our rest of our ebook, because we want to be able to copy and paste again. Remember, and we're going to be using Canva to do this. So again, I just delete anything I don't need inside of here, just to, like, make it nice and clean. So what I did was I pasted chapter 1 here, and you would just keep repeating that for the rest of the ebook. Chapter 2, chapter 3, just keep going until you are complete. I'm not going to do every single chapter here in the video just to make it quicker for you guys, but that's exactly what you would do to get the whole entire ebook written. Now we're going to go into the step where we use Canva. Okay, so we have Canva open, right? Canva is the software that you can design your ebook on. So you're going to use ChatGPT to help you to write it. You're going to use your Google Doc or some type of document type of software or app so that you can edit and write it, in your own words, and make sure that you add things that you wanted to say. And then the last step is going into Canva. So you can use the free Canva. I do recommend to get it paid though, because then you'll have access to more pictures and different features that sometimes regular free Canva doesn't have. Okay, so in the search bar, you want to type in ebook template. That way Canva is going to show you all of the templates that they have. A template is basically a design that's already created for you, and all you have to do is edit. So as you guys can see, Canva has so many templates, 20,000. That's insane. Like, that's a lot. If you don't want to look through each of these, you would go to where it's all filters, and then you can filter it to look through the templates by color, the type of template. Let's say if you're looking for more of a business look, more of a girly look, things like that. I'm going to pick this template here for this video since it's right there. All right. And this is so lit. There are already 25 pages done for us. So it's not going to take us too long to get our ebook done. All right. So like I told you guys before, quick and easy. You can make your ebook in under an hour. Like, if you do this, the first step I always like to do is make sure I change the title of my ebook. So I go back to my doc and I go back to my title and I make sure I copy that. That way, when I'm looking for it in Canva, I don't lose it, because sometimes, if you don't title it, you might not know. And also, when we download this ebook, we want to make sure the title is correct, so that when customers are buying it from us, they're going to see the title on the document. So we want to make sure it's actually titled after the name of our ebook. Now, you guys, I'm going to do this part really quick because it's so easy. Okay, so listen up to what I'm doing. We're going back to our Google Documents or wherever we had our text. If you put it in your notes, if you put it in Microsoft Word, remember, don't just copy and paste straight from ChatGPT. That's a big no-no, okay? So we're going to go back here and we're going to look at our chapters and our table of contents, and we are going to go right in and we are going to start copying and pasting right here where they have these table of contents. They actually have two different ones. So I'm going to use the second page. I like the way the second page looks. And then I'm just going to follow exactly what we have here so that way I don't make any mistakes. Okay, just paste it. And let's say if the font like stretches or it's not the right size, you can like play around with it so that way it fits correctly. And then here I'm just going to write intro. So look, this is an example of what I mean of it being too big. So you just got to make sure that you just play around with the sizing so that it fits. But it's anytime something is purple, it just means that you're editing that thing. So look, now we got our introduction, and then we would just change this to say O1 instead of O2. And then we go right back over here and we get right into our chapters. Okay, so chapter 1, the art of spoiling yourself. We copy that. We go right here and we go and we paste it. Okay, in this case, I don't want these bullets, so I delete those little bullet points. And look at that. We already on our way to go. Now, if you want to change the colors and the fonts, you definitely can do that. You don't have to keep this color and font that Canva created for you. So you go right here where it says background color, and we are going to pick a new color. So In Canva, I already have my own brand colors that I always use for my brand. But if I wanted to just make like different colors, I would go here and press this. And then I would like drag this to like whatever colors I want. You could also play around down here and drag it here. I'm going to stay in like the pink family. So let's make it like this a little purple. Let's try to make it a little pink. All right, so now we got our color, and one of the things to note is that there's a button down here where it says change all. So that oatmeal or that beige color they had before, you literally can make every single page now turn into this new pink color. Now look at this. Look what it's gonna do. Yeah, now all the pages are pink. So that's how you just edit all the colors. As far as the fonts, same thing. You select it. If it's purple, you go here. This is the name of the font, Anton. You select that, and then you just look through all the fonts they have on Canva, and you just play around, and you keep changing the fonts. Sometimes some of the fonts don't fit correctly, like the sizing of the original Canva template. So if that is the case, you always want to just like play around, like dragging it so that it fits correctly. All right, I'm going to go back to the original font that they had because I actually liked it. I'm not going to change the font. And if you're anything like me, you might just similar, so you don't have to do too much work, okay? Make sure you change the title. So what was our title of our ebook? We're going to go back to our document. We're going to go over here. We're going to copy that, and we're going to just paste that. What I did was I changed the text that Canva had here. I just got rid of anything that didn't apply to my guide. And like I say, if you want to change the font, if you want to change the sizes, you know, you could just go all in and do that. I'm going to put my name here. I'm going to get rid of this little thing here. Now, for the pictures. In Canva, you want to upload pictures so that way you change the picture. So let's say I want to use this picture of me. It's kind of big, so it might not be the best picture example, but I can like play around with the picture so that way it can like properly fit. Or if I wanted it to take up more space on the cover, I would do that. You could also put the transparency, like put it like low or something like that. But that's pretty much how you change all the pictures that are inside of the guide. You don't have your own pictures to use because you are faceless and you don't want to be the face of your digital product. No problem. You could actually use Canva and get pictures from Canva. That's why I say if you get the pro plan, it might be better because you get access to way more pictures. So you go to this tool that says elements, and then you literally just type in, let's say, soft life. Then you go to photos and see what photos do they have. And then now you can like, you know, upload whatever pictures that they have there. And then one last way that you could get images, and that is with using AI. So if you go here on the menu, there's an app called Dreamlab, and Dreamlab allows you to create pictures. So I use Dreamlab all the time, and I create these really cute AI pictures. All right, look at how cute these are. Like, I love them. All right, so this was the prompt that I used for the picture that I created. So I literally, the same way you tell ChatGPT what you're looking for, you do that in Dreamlab, and then you just hit create. And it's going to go ahead and try its best to create images for you. If you don't like it, you could go and edit it and just keep working until you get a picture that you like, okay? So what I did now is I'll go and I will download. I want to download probably this picture. I think this one's the best one. And now I'm going to go back to my ebook, and I'm going to drag that picture right up in here. And then now I have that picture to use for my cover instead of the picture of myself or the Canva elements. We can create AI pictures using Dreamlab. So that's pretty much it, you guys. That's how you create your ebook. It's just a bunch of copying and pasting. So make sure you do those 3 things. Like I said, first start out on ChatGPT, then get yourself either Google Docs or Microsoft Word or Notepad and start editing the things that you wanted to say. And then you just go and copy and paste and play around with the template in Canva. So I didn't finish editing this in the video. I'll just show you quickly an example from an ebook that I already have done. When the ebook is completely finished, you've checked it, you proofread it, you made sure it's good to go, you're going to hit share, and then you are going to hit download, okay? And then you want to download this as a PDF. That's really important because if you do PNG, that means picture. So you want to make sure you download as a PDF. That means it's going to be an ebook document. And then you just hit download, and now you are going to have your very own ebook.